professional drivers of semis, doubles, trucks and trailers know the limits of their machinery. What kind of room and speed do you need to make a turn with that vehicle? Where are your blind spots? For example, when approaching a right-hand turn, you must make a speed decision. Do you know to brake down to an appropriate speed? Then, 100 feet before the turn, stabilize your mirrors? Then, pull through the turn as necessary. This is information a professional truck driver should and must know. There are turning situations that drivers, especially pros like yourself, must know and recognize as sucker plays that sooner or later cause an accident if a driver gets careless. The purpose of this video is to reacquaint truck drivers with these situations so they will be aware of and avoid them. You will be given a quiz over the material you have seen. The answers to this quiz will be placed in your driver's file as proof you have seen the video, reviewed the procedures, and increased your knowledge. Sucker plays are not intentional, but how a truck driver suckers another driver can be illustrated in the following scenarios. The other driver can be a car, truck, motorcycle, pedestrian, bicyclist, or any sort of surrounding traffic. A truck is northbound and is going to make a right-hand turn to the east. There appears to be a lot of room. The lanes are 12 feet wide with a lane for parking on the right side. The driver knows if he has a long trailer, he will not make that turn onto the right hand of the street to the east from the right hand of the street he is now on. The driver must use parts of both lanes to complete the turn, depending on what he is facing when he makes that turn to the east. If he is facing a big wide street with no opposing traffic and no center divider, no problem. But seldom is the case. Let's look at this situation. The driver is approaching the intersection at 45 miles per hour, about to make a right-hand turn. As he approaches in the right-hand lane, 200 feet from the intersection, he puts on his right-hand turn signal, looks back, and brakes down to an appropriate speed. As he is making these moves, let's assume all the other traffic is moving at 40 miles per hour or closing on him at 60 feet per second. The driver looks back and sees a car at a distance of 300 feet. He figures this is plenty of distance for that driver to see what he is doing. Our driver moves to the left with his right turn signal on because he has to achieve the needed radius to make the turn and is now momentarily blocking both lanes. When the driver turns to the left, he loses sight of all traffic behind him because of the truck's mirror swing. All he can see to the left is the left side of his trailer. Now he swings back to the right. Without stabilizing, the driver misses the view of the right side because of the speed of the sweep of the mirror as it goes by the traffic. In the length of time it takes the trucker to gain the position where his truck is crossing the crosswalk or the curb line of the northbound street with his tractor, the trailer is still blocking part of the left lane, all of the right lane, and part of the parking lane close to the curb. This movement can easily trap a car or bicycle. Here's where the sucker play comes in. Suppose a second driver comes up behind the truck from out of a driveway or side street. The second driver accelerates quickly to 45 miles per hour. This driver looks down the road to see the truck moving to the left. It appears the trucker is turning to the left. Our trucker looks back in the rearview mirror and doesn't see anyone coming. Remember, he's seeing mostly the left side of his truck. As he approaches within 100 feet of the intersection, all of a sudden the truck swings back to the right. Now our second driver is confused. Part of the left lane is blocked. The right lane is blocked. Even though the right turn signal is on, it hasn't occurred to our second driver that the truck is going to turn right because he saw the truck moving to the left. You probably know that all drivers aren't necessarily alert 100% of the time. So our second driver is suckered into going to the right. At the speed he is traveling and the closing distance, does our second driver have time to move from the extreme right of the road to the left and avoid a collision? Maybe. Then again, maybe not. Another sucker play involves a second driver approaching the same intersection situation from the right-hand lane. Our second driver also wants to make a right-hand turn. He moves to within 8 to 10 feet of the truck and is slowing as they both approach the intersection. The truck moves to the left to start his right-hand turn. Our second driver, thinking the truck is turning left, ducks in between the extreme right side of the trailer and the parking area. He begins to get into position to make his right-hand turn. Then he sees the truck turning back to the right. Depending on his speed, reaction time, and blind spots on the truck, we have another accident, another sucker play. Several things can and should be done to prevent this type of accident. The professional driver does not put anyone in a position to be suckered. But other drivers can be suckered by the positioning of the truck and the improper use of turn signals. When a truck driver is moving to the left as he approaches an intersection, he should put on his left turn signal 100 feet before the move, as needed. Then, when blocking part of the left lane, he should turn the right turn signal on, again 100 feet before the move to the right. Before he makes the right turn, the trucker should make sure everything is clear as far back as 200 feet, if possible. It is vital to stabilize your mirrors in the 100 feet before the turn. Fast-moving traffic can be under the trailer in the blink of an eye. This scenario is one of the most common type of lane-changing accidents. You should also know how long it takes to clear the turn with your truck. You can also roughly calculate how fast a vehicle is traveling in feet per second. Take 1/2 the speed and add it to the speed. At 40 miles per hour, 1/2 of 40 is 20, plus 40 is 60 feet per second. While one moving at 55 miles an hour is going 1/2 of 55 plus 55, or about 83 feet per second. It is also important to pay attention to pedestrian and bicycle traffic in these situations. Drivers tend to believe pedestrian and bicycle traffic to be slow enough to easily maneuver around. This may not be the case. We are in an era of runners and joggers. Bicycles can move at speeds up to 35 miles per hour. Passing a bicycle a block down the road does not mean that bicyclist cannot get into the driver's blind spot while he's making a right-hand turn. While you are slowing down, the bicyclist may be speeding up. Certainly, if a truck driver starts his move to the left in the sucker play, he invites a fast-moving bicyclist to get into his blind spot. Left-hand turns can also create sucker plays. These turns are fairly simple for traffic coming from behind the truck. Where a driver can get himself suckered is when he assumes approaching traffic is going to stop. The professional driver does not make a left-hand turn in front of traffic unless he is sure the traffic is committed to stop and is going to do so. It is a sucker play to put a vehicle in front of someone who has the right-of-way. Know that it will take you 10 to 14 seconds to make the turn and gauge your oncoming traffic accordingly. Now it is time for the quiz on sucker plays. Question 1. When making a right-hand turn as the driver turns to the left into the left-hand lane, he loses sight of all traffic behind him because of the mirror swing. True or false? Question 2. When moving to the left while approaching an intersection, a truck driver must A. Put on his right turn signal, B. Put on his left turn signal, or C. Use no signals at all. Question 3. Bicycles and pedestrians should be ignored when making a right-hand turn. True or false? Question 4. When making a left-hand turn, a driver should A. Assume all the traffic will stop, B. Not make the turn until he knows the traffic will stop, or C. Not make the turn at all. The professional driver does not put anyone in a position to be suckered. When making a right-hand turn, a driver should take nothing for granted. When moving to the left, use your left turn signal. When moving to the right, use your right turn signal. Always stabilize your mirrors. Always check your blind spots. By being aware of sucker play situations, they can easily be avoided.